Warren Sapp loses cool as Coach Prime announces big punishment for Colorado athletes in disastrous scenes. Well, it looks like Coach Prime's standing at the fork in the lane holding the map upside down. The worst part is his own team is putting him in such a tricky spot. After leading Colorado to a remarkable turnaround from 4-8 to 9-4, he's pushing his team relentlessly, perhaps too much. Despite losing key players like Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, his playoff ambitions remain intact. But the team lacks focus. Prime example, their spring practices were lackluster, even drawing criticism from Warren Sapp. Sanders' intensity is there, but his players haven't caught up yet. It's weird how Coach Prime is the one pushing hard for spring games to start following an NFL-like structure so that they can play against other teams, but his team is already showing potholes going against each other. Their spring game on the 16th of April turned into a big mess of paradoxes. Warren Sapp laid out his frustration with a bold and critical remark after the practice, saying, "Jumping offsides, getting gassed on the quarterback run." He didn't just stop at that. He even made a sarcastic remark. "Why are you going to make me drive me to drink, man?" For now, the Buffs' defense looks sloppy. But one practice can't ignore the fact that Coach Prime's team is also making progress this offseason. 2 weeks into the spring practice, several players have stepped up to fill key defensive roles. Safety R.J. Johnson looks set to solidify the secondary. Defensive coordinator Robert Livingston praised his focus, saying, "I love the look in R.J.'s eyes. I think he is poised to have a really good spring. So excited for him." Even edge rusher Arden Walker, a Colorado legacy, brings strong leadership. Livingston noted, "He is a generational player here, so if he can step up and truly take that leadership role, that would be really cool." Even Coach Prime's running back room looks promising. Their upcoming star, RB Isaiah Harge, is stepping up to take charge of the team. And even Deion Sanders is pretty impressed by Harge's efforts, as he said. He is coming into his own and playing the slot receiver. "We've taken him off defense so he can focus on the slot. He's going to do some incredible things this season. He's doing really well." Getting praised by Coach Prime sure means massive development. Colorado's special teams woes may finally be over. New kicker Buck Buchanan, a Louisiana Tech transfer, boasts a powerful leg. Coach Prime is thrilled. "I just watched this guy, Buchanan, kick the other day. It was ridiculous. He was kicking field goals from kickoff. It was crazy." On the offensive line, Jordan Seaton is developing into a leader. "He's such a good young man, not just the talent, but the character," Sanders said. "That's what we're looking for here at CU." But despite all of it, Coach Prime makes sure that he teaches them a lesson that they will never forget. Coach Prime joining hands with Warren Sapp lands players in tricky position. Deion Sanders is always outspoken, particularly when advocating for what's right. But it looks like his team isn't exactly following him. Just weeks ago, ahead of the spring game, Coach Prime made sure he was clear with his squad on what he was expecting from them. And he didn't stop at usual. "You're getting ready to go home," Sanders said. "You're very popular. You got this white, black, and gold on, and everybody knows you. They're going to entice you to do some things that you don't normally do or some things that you used to do that you no longer want to do. You've got to let that go. You've got to walk away." But fast forward to mid-April, and it appears that his message didn't resonate. As the spring game approached, the Buffaloes found themselves firmly in Coach Prime's disfavor. The warning signs began to emerge during a recent practice session, documented by Well-Off Media on April 16th. This shows that Coach Prime is not happy with what he witnessed. His frustration stemmed not from missed assignments or technical errors, but from a lack of effort. "That's the worst practice I've been in as a part of this school. We just had 3 plays. That's all we want. There isn't anybody out here that's giving it their all in any one of those plays. Right now, let's forget it. Put your helmets down, and let's go ahead and condition. And we're going to do a walkthrough. We aren't getting nothing out of practice." He made sure his team remembered this day and made sure this never happened. His move? Coach Prime ended practice early today and made everybody run, as per CFB alerts, which is a part of his old-school tactics to make sure his team stays in their best form. Because after losing his star players Hunter and Shedeur to NFL Coach Prime, he isn't sweating over excuses anymore. Look, Coach Prime's tough love isn't new in Boulder. Last year, he supported a professor who criticized the team's academics, reminding players that representing Colorado carries weight. He's molding men, not just a football team. Then, Back in his first year at Boulder, when his team won a game, Deion Sanders made it pretty clear that he was not satisfied with the way they won it. "I'm happy we won," he said, "but not in the fashion that we won it in." The mindset is still the same. With the spring game on April 19th, Sanders warned players against complacency, demanding focus in practice. 11-year NFL veteran trashes Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter decision as calls mount against Colorado's big announcement. David Bakhtiari has been through it. 5 knee surgeries, years of grinding through pain, released by the Packers after 11 seasons. And yet, in 2024, the man still wanted to play. He told the Adam Schefter podcast he finally feels right again after his latest procedure in November 2023, and he's really happy with where things are trending. "I'm in constant pain," he said. "I'm so happy now to be on the other side of it." Alas, it is not to be. But there's no one to be blamed apart from his injuries. From the 20 season to the 23 season, he could only feature in 13 of a possible 51 regular season games. However, now that he's back, he hopes to find a home in 2025. If not, then maybe he could make it as an analyst. Well, it's not a what-if based on nothing. Here's the scene. Just because he's off the field doesn't mean he's off the mic, especially when it comes to his alma mater, Colorado. And recently, Bakhtiari let it fly on X after his school announced it would retire Shedeur Sanders' number 2 and Travis Hunter's number 12 jerseys before the spring game. A huge honor, no doubt. But for Bakhtiari, that number 2 didn't sit right. "You all trying to be slick thinking you can just sneak that one in there," he wrote. That was basically him trying to expose his alma mater. Because for Bakhtiari, there's history behind that number. And it's got a name. Deion figures. In a follow-up post, Bakhtiari dropped the resume. 1990 National Champion, Jim Thorpe Award, Jack Tatum Award, Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year, Consensus All-American, first-round pick, 6 years in the NFL, College Football Hall of Fame. That's Deion for you. And Bakhtiari wasn't exaggerating. Deion figures was the heartbeat of that Colorado defense in the early 90s. His game-sealing interception in the 1991 Orange Bowl, that clinched a national title. Lockdown corner? Absolutely. 3 conference titles, All-American honors, and the Jim Thorpe Award say, so. To rub the salt on the wound? He wore number 2 before Shedeur. And the Sanders boy still wore it, didn't he? See, the thing is, Bakhtiari wasn't denying Shedeur's impact. No one is. Well, some are. Like Pittsburgh reporter who straight up shot. "I don't view Sanders as a first-round pick and someone Pittsburgh should bank on becoming a long-term option." Then in Hunter's case, we all know everyone's worried if he could do it on the both sides of the ball or not. That'd be there. In fairness, Bakhtiari's saying none of that. But the core of his argument is simple. Don't erase the past in a rush to celebrate the present. And in this case, he felt like CU was doing just that. "All love, just wanted to give clarity," Bakhtiari later added. But the point still stands. If you're going to retire a number, especially one as storied as No. 2 in Boulder, you better acknowledge everyone who made it iconic. That's what the fans wanted to tell the college team. And they were pretty loud about it under the team's post. Fans get sarcastic about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. When Colorado announced it would retire number 2 and number 12 jersey numbers in honor of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, respectively, fans didn't exactly break out the confetti. Travis, sure, Heisman winner, two-way phenom, built different. No one's really pushing back there. But Shedeur? That one didn't sit right with a chunk of the fan base. Point one fan hit the sarcasm button hard. 13-11 QB record gets your jersey retired. And hey, that's not just a random jab. Shedeur's final record as Colorado's quarterback wasn't flashy. No conference titles, no playoff runs, and definitely no natty. While his stats, 4,134 yards, 37 touchdowns, and a 74% completion rate, look great on paper, fans are pointing to wins, not just numbers. Another post followed up with a jab of its own. The most impressive 13-12 in college football history. Thank you, Shedeur. It's the kind of dry humor only college football fans can deliver. And it underscores the biggest gripe jersey retirements have, until now, been sacred. A reward earned with time, rings, and legacy. Not just one electric season and a viral TikTok dance. But not every fan was throwing straight shade. One comment broke it down with nuance. CU wins 0, or 1 game max without Shedeur last year. Travis is fully deserving. They mocked Shedeur and played his music. That's a fair point. Shedeur wasn't just the QB, he was the lightning rod. He carried the swagger, the pressure, and the target on his back all season. But was that enough to skip the legacy building part? Then came the full court press. What a complete joke. Hunter, maybe, but Shedeur. I can't understand how anyone takes this program seriously. That one cuts deep. Because for some fans, this decision signals a shift, less about tradition and more about showtime. And if that wasn't blunt enough, another chimed in. This is laughable. What did they do to deserve a retired jersey? That question lingers. No doubt Shedeur and Travis changed Colorado's brand overnight. But in the eyes of these fans, the Hall of Fame-style treatment? That might have come a few decades early.